First, I'd like to congratulate all the inductees today. What an awesome experience. Great players. And what I'd like to, Billy Madden, I grew up with Billy Madden in Pearl River and played Little League with him, and what a great person he is. His dad used to umpire the Little League games for us, gave his time, and you can see that, you know, Billy became a great guy and a great writer, and I just want to shout out to Billy. And then Jimmy Rooney, I'm going to be talking about Joe Castaldo, was a two-sport athlete, and everybody's talking. Jim Rooney, okay, is a baseball guy, but Jim Rooney was pretty good in basketball. I don't know if anybody knows that. He played in North Rockland. He was really good. And what he did was our junior year, I think, and he's up at bat, and I come down with a little sidearm pitch, and that ball is still going. It's still going. It hasn't come down yet how far he hit that ball. If you know North Rockland High School, it went into the football field. I'll never forget that. That was one of the longest home runs I ever gave up. But anyway, you know, it's hard enough to play one sport, and to be able to excel in two sports is amazing. Dave DeBuscher, you know, even Michael Jordan, he didn't excel in baseball. But this guy named Joe Castaldo, he excelled to the max in both sports. I talked to Dan Keeley, and I talked to my baseball coaches. They coached them at RCC and at Dominican, and everything they said was this guy. He's a great athlete, a team guy, a great attitude. He had speed. My baseball coach said he would hit a ground ball to shortstop, and they'd take their time, and he'd beat the throw to first base, because all they thought there was this big stiff who was up at bat, and he's not going to beat it out. He would beat it out to first base. So about his athletic ability, he was a third baseman. He gets drafted by the Cardinals as a pitcher, just to tell you how good of an athlete he was. Now, I coached him in basketball, and he scored, 1,000 points at Rockland. He scored 1,000 points at Dominican. When he scored 1,000 points at Dominican, he had hit a three-pointer to beat Post that day. So you're talking, he had over 2,200 points in 4 years. If he came to Dominican all 4 years, he would have had over 2,000 points. He'd be the leading scorer at Dominican. That's all right. But I wouldn't have been able to coach at RCC. So his average, he averaged over 20 points a game, both spots, over 10 rebounds. He shot 50% from two, 45% from three. They said Bill Russell would grab a rebound. It'd take him 3 or 4 steps to get to the end of the line and dunk it. You know, poor Joe would have took him 4 or 5, but he's the type of guy that would grab a rebound and go down the length of the floor and lay it in or dunk it. And I mean, just the speed that he had, it was uncanny. What made him special was his self-discipline, his resiliency to bounce back after a loss, his supreme focus. He put all the negativity behind him, his confidence. He had unshakable confidence and faith in his ability, his coachability. He was a very, very coachable kid. Now, I know I'm old school and I'm getting old, but what drives me nuts is guys hit a three, we're going this, okay? Guy make a tackle, they're jumping up, okay? Joe's an old school guy. Well, Joe, you couldn't cover him. If you put a big guy on him, he'd go by him. If you put a little guy on him, he'd post you up. He could just do a little bit of everything. And that's what made him so special. You know, looking back, I've been coaching, so I had a chance to look at, you know, all my former players, and he was one of the early birds. And I'm saying to myself, holy mackerel, this kid was good, really good. It was my honor and my privilege to coach somebody of his caliber. That's how good he was. He was a special, special athlete, and there's nothing he couldn't do. There's nothing he couldn't do. If a big guy covered him, would take him outside. If a little guy come and put him inside and post him up. He was a pleasure to coach, and I can't say how lucky I am, and I'd like to introduce Joe Castaldo to the whole
thing. Coach gets me fired up. It almost makes me want to play right now. But my speech. I wrote this speech. I didn't know. I was going to go from the cuff. I said, I can't do that anymore. I'm too old for that. And my wife checked the speech over 100 times. Like, she's gonna say it. I'm like, you're not saying it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So, to begin, good evening, everyone. I first want to thank the Rockland County Sports Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me of this year's class, as well as congratulate all my fellow inductees. I am incredibly grateful for the Hall of Fame honors received at North Rockland High School, Rockland Community College, and Dominican. But this one hits differently. Rockland County is where it all began. The gyms, the fields, the long practices, the bus rides, and the dreams that felt so big when we were just kids. To be recognized for basketball and baseball in the county that shaped me is something I don't take lightly. Rockland County is home to all the opportunities I ever had to compete. More importantly, the reason for many lifelong friendships. It helped shape me who I became, not just as an athlete, but as a man. High school and college students today truly amaze me. So many head off to campuses hours from home, hop on planes to start new chapters, or even study abroad across the world. I admire that spirit of adventure, but I'll be honest, that was never my path. 13 miles, that's it. That's my story. I'm a hometown guy. Basketball at St. Peter's and Haverstraw, Haverstraw Little League, on to North Rockland, RCC, right over to Dominican, 13 miles. For me, it was not about seeing the world. It was about playing ball with the friends I had for decades. Even now, I teach at North Rockland and live in Stony Point with my children and wife of almost 26 years. Aside from my time with the St. Louis Cardinals, my entire life has been lived within this 13-mile radius. Some might say that means I haven't seen much. Some might say that means I haven't seen much at all, but I would say I've seen everything that matters. Every blessing in my life has come from the experience I have had with the relationships that I have built right here, right with my friends. To my teammates, we did this together. It was an honor to share the court and field with you. To my coaches, you taught me everything I know as a player. North Rockland baseball coaches, Haverstraw Middle, Pete Warner, Pat Amendola, John DiGeronimo, who was inducted in last year's Hall of Fame here. Basketball coaches, Bill McCoy and Dennis Carroll at North Rockland High School. RCC baseball coaches, Bob Nadell and Dan Keeley, nothing but the best. Dominican College coach, Rick Gianetti. And last but not least, Big Joe Clinton, who I had the privilege to play basketball under at both RCC and Dominican. The man who kept me humble. And I wasn't going to tell a story because my wife's like, you don't got to tell stories, but I'm going to tell it. It's going to be short. Playing Bergen Community College. It's Rockland Community College versus Bergen Community College in Brendan Byrne Arena in the Meadowlands, right before the New Jersey Net game. It's a big game, conference game, Bergen Community College. And as you know, when you play basketball in an arena like that, the depth perception's tough. You can't see, there's nobody in the stands, and it's tough to shoot. So I'm warming up, and I could feel that it's not going to be a good night. My three's not hitting, and I feel it, but I think I'm going to go inside today or do whatever I got to do. So comes halftime, we're down about 8 points to Bergen Community College. Clinton comes flying into the locker room, as usual, with his red Irish face, storming, going, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What's going on tonight? This guy is killing me." His famous words, "Castaldo, you're killing me." So he said, I remember that for 4 years, Dominican, 2 years at RCC and 2 years at Dominican. "Castaldo, you're killing me." I heard it in my sleep. I used it when I was coaching. "You're killing me." It's his face. He said it, "Why don't you come back to Dominican and watch more basketball games? You're killing me." It's always something, he's killing him. But to end up, one of the statisticians was doing the things. He's yelling at me, "What the hell is wrong with you?" "Joe, he has 18 points and 10 rebounds. What's the problem?" "He's still killing me." So that's Joe, always killing. If I'm scoring 30 points, I'm killing him on defense. If I'm not playing defense, I'm killing him in some other way. So that was the expression he always used that I remember. But that's what he brought the best out of me. He knows how to motivate kids. That's why the program's been so successful at Dominican. He knows how to motivate people. And now to the coaches who gave me the opportunities to lead teams of my own at North Rockland High School, JV baseball team, and men's basketball assistant coach to Coach Roth. Coach Castaldo, thank you for the opportunity there. And then I moved on to RCC men's basketball team under Coach Keeley as the athletic director after I left North Rockland. So thank you, Coach Keeley, also. I'll throw a little story in there again. First college game, I go from North Rockland to RCC. I'm about to coach my first college game. Coach Cass said, it's good to move on. Move on, take the job. Coach Keeley will take care of you. Kevin Hanlon, everybody knows Kevin Hanlon. He was my statistician at that time. So he sat on the bench and did all the stats and helped me out during that basketball year. It was our first game coming up. We were playing Kingsborough Community College. Kevin Hanlon comes up to me, as he does his research, always on the computer, telling me Kingsborough is loaded. He's like, so you're going to have a tough time here. I'm like, okay, that's no problem. We'll prepare even more. You know, we're going to prepare. We're going to get ready for the game. He goes, that's not the problem. I said, what's the problem? We'll prepare even better. He goes, it's the first girl going to coach Kingsborough Community College. She's going to have her first college game, and she's a girl. I was like, oh, boy. I go, I can't lose to a girl. My first college game, I'm going to lose to a girl. That's not. So I go home that day, talk to my dad. Forget about it. Dad, you don't come to the first game. They're supposed to be loaded. I'm thinking, I can't lose this game. My dad's like, you can't lose to a girl. So I'm like, okay. So I go. We get there. Make a long story short, we lose by 20. The girl gets her first college win. And Kevin Hanlon tells the story to everybody from here on in. Lastly, I want to thank my family, again, my wife, especially my father. He passed a couple years ago, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about him. He was at many games, sometimes cheering, sometimes coaching, if he wasn't at OTB playing the ponies. He was louder than the actual coach a lot. I know that if he was here tonight, he'd be very proud of me. But if he had the microphone, he would probably tell you that I could have been even better. Everything I learned about hard work, toughness, and never quitting started with him. This honor is as much his as it is mine. Again, thank you everybody that came out to support me, my North Rockland buddies, everybody. Thank you very much.